Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. It is a beautiful day, and I want to try something new today. I wanted to get on with you guys, do a Facebook Live, and kind of talk about a book that I've been reading. And it's a damn good book, so I think you guys are going to enjoy some of the lessons. Basically, the book's called The Miracle Morning. I've read this book like 3, 4, 5 times. I'm not exactly sure. But anyways, it is just a great book, and I felt the need to have to share it, do a quick summary, do a quick little book review on it. Because at the end of the day, the best way to learn is to teach. Seriously, if you learn something, teaching it gives you like a whole other level of really understanding it. And so that's why I'm going to teach some of the things that I learned from this book. Um, so let me tell you a little bit about how I found this book. Cam's in here, whatever. Let me tell you a little bit about how I found this book. I found this book through just like YouTube videos somehow. I was looking up morning rituals, how to better understand morning rituals, how to better do morning rituals and stuff like that. And I came across this podcast episode with this guy named Hal Elrod. And basically Hal Elrod was he was like a salesperson for a company called Cutco Knives. And when he was 20, he made good money, he was successful in the company, it seemed like he had everything going for him. Until, one night he was hit head on by a drunk driver at like 70 kilometers or 70 miles an hour, something insane like that. And anyways, Hal came out of this situation actually very powerful. He, within 3 weeks, he was walking. He was told he'd never walk again. And his story is truly amazing. But what's even more interesting to me is that wasn't his worst point. That wasn't his rock bottom. For him, he felt his rock bottom didn't come until years later. During 2008 when there was that big recession and all of us got hit with financial issues and stuff, and he dealt with a lot of that, but it hit him emotionally and mentally, and so it was more than just his finances. And in that moment he had a friend tell him, man, you gotta go for a run, just go for a run, everything will work out if you just go for a run. And he thought, man, what am I gonna do, like what's a run gonna do for me, right? Anyways, you go for a run, and he was listening to Jim Rohn, and Jim Rohn said, your success will never outdo your personal development, or something like that. Basically meaning that your success equals your personal development. So, really saying the source of your success is you. And so I love this story. He came up with this book. He woke up, he said, man, I'm going to wake up early in the morning and just run and look up, what do successful people do? And I'm going to just do that. And that's how we got this book. That's how we got The Miracle Morning. And I seriously love this book. It's helped me out a lot, and I want to share a couple lessons. So the first big takeaway, I got 3 big takeaways from this book. And the first big takeaway is the quality of your life really equals the quality of your mornings, or the quality of your habits. Because if you think about it, how does life start? Life starts in the morning. You wake up, and that's the first thing that happens. So what you do in that first 10 minutes, first half hour, first hour of your day significantly affects the rest of your day. So really going with realizing that our habits, our mornings control our life. We could control our mornings, and if we have a productive morning, if we have a successful, productive morning, we're going to have a successful, productive day, successful, productive week, successful, productive month, successful, productive life. And so that's the point here, is the quality of our lives really equal the quality of our mornings. And I love another thing that he says here is he touches on the 95% reality check, which I don't think nearly enough people talk about this, but it's basically talking about how the truth is 95% of people in our society that you meet are unhappy. They are not happy with their health. They're unhealthy. The relationships are out of order. They're struggling in finances. Struggling in spirituality. Like so many areas of life they're struggling in because they don't take control of their day. They don't take control of their life. And so he really touches base on what it takes to be in that top 5% and not get caught up in what most people are doing. Because if most people are depressed, if most people are broke, if more people are in debt, most people are unhealthy, you don't want to be like most people. And so that's why you really have to think of what is going to get me further? What is going to work? Not what is everybody else doing, what's the easy thing, but what's the right thing? What's going to get me to where I want to go? And so I love how he touches on the 95% reality check. That is something that I really needed to hear. Um, he talks about how the rear view mirror syndrome. So many people are just looking in the rear view mirror of life and not even not even focusing on anything. What's up, Shane? What's up, Rachel? Thanks for joining me on this live stream. Um, Anyways, that's the first big point I wanted to make. And the second big point that Hal makes in this book, The Miracle Morning, is have a compelling why. Right? Like, why did you get out of bed this morning? Why did you even bother rolling out of bed? Why would you bother? That's a question you need to know the exact clear answer to, because look, if you don't know why you got out of bed this morning, how are you going to know why you go to work? How are you going to know why you hang out with your family? How are you going to know why all these other things, right? Really, the point of this second big takeaway is know your why and know it clearly, because when you know your why, there's so much power in that, man. And it's more than just knowing your why. It's really about writing your story. No, don't let anybody write your story for you. This is about you writing your story. And so you decide what the why is. It's about making that conscious decision. And that is the second big takeaway I got from this book. And it's a great takeaway. Know why you do what you do. I could talk about that all day, guys. That's how important it is. But I want to move on to this third takeaway that I got from this book, which is pretty much 50% of the book is this third point. And it's really have a system and commit to it. Okay? Have a system and commit to it. You know how easy it is to let go of yourself when you don't have a system in place? You know how easy it is to just like let life happen when you don't have a system of habits, a system to follow, something that keeps you on track? It's really easy. And so having a system and committing to it is huge. And the system that Hal talks about is the lifesavers. And really the lifesavers is six personal development practices that every super successful person does. Right? I mean, if you were to Google what do successful people do right now, these 6 things will come up. Either, they're practicing one of them, 2 of them, 3 of them. Maybe they're practicing all 6 of them. But regardless, these 6 things are huge when it comes to success. And so the lifesavers are, number 1 is called silence. Like savers, right? So imagine the word savers, and the first acronym is S for silence. This could mean a moment of meditation. This could mean a moment of prayer. This could be just a moment of gratitude. This could be just like, I'm just going to sit here, look around, and reflect on life. Just give yourself a moment of silence, and it will really help to calm your nerves and help put you back into control. The second one is A for affirmations. Now, I can't tell you how many people I talk to who resist affirmations. They're like, oh, I don't know, that's stupid. You want me to talk to myself? What's this all about? But I'm telling you guys, this is one of the biggest parts of my life that shifted me. It is like having a set of affirmations that I read. And this is really about deciding, who do you want to be? What do you want to do? Why are you here? And reading that to yourself out loud every single day. And this isn't like, excuse me, this isn't like, I want to be a millionaire. I want to be a millionaire. I want to be a millionaire. I am a millionaire. I am a millionaire. No, I'm talking like, don't just lie to yourself. That's a big misconception when it comes to affirmations. Is, okay, what, I just sit there and lie to myself? No, please do not lie to yourself, because your subconscious mind's smart. You're not an idiot, okay? If you're trying to lie to yourself, your subconscious mind, which runs 95% of your life, knows you're lying. Then it knows you're full of shit. And so it's important to not lie to yourself when you're doing affirmations. Instead of saying like, oh, I'm a millionaire, I'm happy, I live the perfect life, blah, blah, blah. Just be honest with yourself. It's like, okay, I'm struggling in this area, but I'm committed to making it better. Instead of saying, I will, or I might, or I want, say I'm committed to. And this is a huge part of affirmations. And I could go on about this all day, because that's how big of an effect it's had on my life. But I want to move on for you guys. And that's the third acronym, which is V. V for visualization. And I can't tell you how important this is. You look up Google visualization right now. Google, after this video, but Google important people, successful people who visualize. I mean, I just saw a video a couple days ago of Michael Phelps, the Olympic gold medalist swimmer, who said from a young age he'd been visualizing. And so even before he gets in the pool to swim, he's visualizing what it takes to make that happen. He visualizes not only the perfect race, but he visualizes what could go wrong and how he could, make it through that. He visualizes how it could go right. He visualizes, what if my goggles get all full of water? And it actually happened to him on one of his swims, and he still won the race because he had visualized it. He knew he was expecting the worst, he was expecting the best. It didn't matter what happened because he was ready for it because he visualized it. Bears, nice to see you here, man. Okay, so the fourth acronym is exercise. And this one pretty much speaks for itself, guys. Exercise every day. The way I like to think about this is like, get your heart pumping, lose your breath, and maybe break a sweat daily. Like daily, you need to break a sweat. Daily, you need to get your heart pumping. You got to lose your breath. That's the way I think about it, is because some people, they'll exercise, they'll do something, but really it's not that intense. But like, it's that intense exercise that gets the blood flowing, gets your heart pumping, that makes you feel alive, man. Like, it really gets you going. And I know so many people resist exercise. I resisted it for the longest time. I was like a chubby little teenage video gamer kid. And when I finally got onto this, when I finally caught onto this exercise thing, my life changed forever. So I'm not going to go too long on exercise, but got to do it. And the third one is, or not the third one, our fifth acronym in the Savers is reading. And I'll tell you, I'm not a big reader. I'm really not. But I don't take this as much as, okay, I'm going to take this book and read it. I know we're talking about books. So I was talking about how I'm not a big reader. But honestly, I'm more into audio. I listen to audiobooks. I watch videos on YouTube. I listen to podcasts, all types of things. That's kind of my reading. But the way I think of reading is really like learning. Like, you gotta learn something every single day. And I still read, and I read this book, but I figure out what works best for you. That's what I would suggest, because if you're being told to read and like reading's super difficult for you and like it just doesn't work, it just doesn't happen, you're just not getting the value from this that you would be getting from listening to an audio or something, figure out what works best for you. But reading, like, every day you must learn. Every day you must feed your mind, because that's what's going to really, it's really going to push you forward, and it's really going to keep you, in a sense, keep you feeling like you're making progress and like you're learning. So, and the last one, I've been doing this for years. I love this one, is scribing. What scribing really means is writing. So maybe you write in a journal, maybe you write songs, maybe you write books, maybe you write whatever, but it's just some sort of writing. It's some sort of reflection on your day and on your life. And so scribing is super important. Do not underestimate the power of journaling, the power of having a diary or whatever it is for you, but always remember that one. So really what this third step I'm talking about is having a system in place and following it 100% and committing to it. And another way, also anticipating any sort of challenges. That's one thing that Hal talks about in the book, is he's got a formula, okay? And it's a genius formula, I'll tell you, because he talks about what it takes to build habit. There's like so many different people who have different ideas and different studies, different lessons on what it takes to build a habit. But Hal basically chunks it down into 30 days. Like, look, you got 30 days to change your life. The first 10 days are going to be unbearable. You're going to hate it. It's not going to feel good at all, but you know it's good for you, so you're going to keep on going. The second 10 days, day 20 and on, is the day 10 and on is the uncomfortable phase. So slightly uncomfortable. You're kind of getting the hang of it, but it's still not a habit. It's still not a part of you. You're still pushing yourself to make it happen. And the third last 10 days are the unstoppable phase. This is really happens when you wake up and you're doing your habits. Those habits just happen almost automatically. Like, it's not a chore for you. It's not difficult. You just make it happen, and it's awesome. And it just feels good. And so you're going to have to make it through those initial 20 days in order to get to that point where it's finally easy for you, where it's finally, going to be something that you can handle. But I also got to remind you, just because you've done a 30-day challenge doesn't mean you got to stop at 30 days. Like, those 30 days, that 30-day challenge is really just to help you build the habit. And then from there on, like, you got to keep it up. And it'll be much easier to keep it up after you've already completed a 30-day challenge. But you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I got to tell you, this is a great book. Those are some of my favorite takeaways from the book, my three biggest takeaways. And to give you a quick review, takeaway number one is the quality of your life equals the quality of your mornings, the quality of your habits. And realize that most people aren't going to do it. So don't follow what most people do. Don't do the easy thing. Follow what the top 5% of people are doing. Do the right thing. Follow your role models, your leaders, the people you look up to. Number two is remember why you woke up this morning. Have a compelling why. You write your story, and so it's up to you to make it sound exciting. It's up to you to make it good. Like, nobody's going to come around and make your life awesome. Nobody's going to come around and give you meaning. The meaning comes from within, and so you get to make that decision for yourself, and it's exciting, so have fun with it. And the third and last step I really want to talk about, the third big takeaway, is have a system. Commit to it. Anticipate any sort of challenges and just commit to that system. Commit to those habits and build it into a daily ritual that it just becomes a part of you and you don't even have to think about it anymore. So that's it. That's the miracle morning, okay? You can seriously change your life if you just wake up and start your days differently than how you usually do. You know, instead of waking up, I'm going to check my email, I'm going to go have a big greasy breakfast, I'm going to turn on the TV. There's another way. There's a better way. Trust me, because I've been in the darkest of places for myself. I've been in places where I never thought I could change. I thought I was stuck. Like, it was done. Like, my story was written. It was over. And I've been able to create incredible changes in my life. And this is part of why. Because every day I wake up and I implement some sort of morning ritual to get my day started, to get my life started, to get my life together, just to make it happen. So, anyways, that is, I don't know how many more of these I'm going to do because I'm having fun with this. I'm going to do more book reviews. But anyways, that is the Miracle Morning. Next month, I think I'm going to talk about Think and Grow Rich. It's a big book. It's probably like 3-4 times bigger than this book. But I'm reading it this month, and I'm going to have a review for you guys next month. So, thanks guys. That's it. Peace.